What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another 12-inch mix from the compilation sent to me by a great friend of the channel, Joseph, and indeed I meant to do two of these in the previous batch, but I didn't have time, so we're back for the next one. I did also want to give a shout out to Michaela, who sent me a greatest hits compilation from Phil Collins. As I mentioned, when I tried to rip this CD to put it on my music computer, it didn't rip correctly. A lot of the files, or pretty much all the files, have this like weird static. I haven't given up on it. I am going to try to rip it on a different computer and then see if the issue is with my CD reader, which seems unlikely just because it's been ripping other CDs with no problems, but ultimately I do appreciate the CD no matter whether I get it to rip properly or not, and even if it doesn't, I'll see if I can track down online this exact compilation and it'll be just as if the CD ripped properly. In any case, I bring this up because In the Air Tonight, I believe one of Phil's biggest hits from his solo career, is on the compilation, and it is one of the songs I know from Phil. I don't know too many from him. I think a couple from his solo career. I know a couple from his time in Genesis. Nevertheless, I do, at least as far as I'm given to understand, have a bit of context here. I believe the song relates to a pretty intense and brutal breakup / divorce Phil went through with one of his previous wives. I don't know how many times he's been married, but yes, I think this relates to an ultimate breaking point, a crossing of a threshold with his ex-wife, and I believe, if my understanding of the lyrics is correct, at some point he literally saw her with another guy and, being unfaithful to him, and that was the moment at which his emotions snapped and he realized that this is, beyond any point of repair. I do think there's a sense of vengeance, or at least an emotional lashing out in the lyrics. And yes, ultimately, knowing that this is a remix, I wonder how much it'll vary relative to the normal version of the tune. I am aware, at least at this point in his career, that Phil not only was singing but can play drums. I don't know if on the original studio track he does play drums as well as singing, but I know there's some famous live performances out there where the drum set rises up onto the stage right as he's getting to that part of the stage, and then he goes into that big dramatic drum solo. In any case, we're going to listen to the Ben Liebrand mix. And it says In the Air Tonight 88, as the way it's listed here on the compilation Joseph sent me. So I'm guessing maybe already this is based on a later version of the tune, not the one that was originally on a studio album from Phil. So yes, as I said, I have heard the original version of the tune, but my knowledge of different iterations or versions of the song, even before we get to this particular remix, is limited. In any case, Joseph's note for this remix is this Ben Liebrand remix made this 1981 song a hit all over again. Well, there you go. So originally it was from 81, and then this remix is in 88. So maybe the 88 moniker on the title of the track here is just an indication that that's when this remix comes from. In any case, let's give it a listen. This is Phil Collins, In the Air Tonight 88. The Ben Liebrand mix. It's a slightly different sound than the intro I'm familiar with from the original version of the tune. It's brilliant. I mean, it's such an epic song anyway. So, okay, like, I feel like all of the familiar ingredients to me, somewhat being familiar with the original tune, they're there, but they're augmented by a number of sonic details. I mean, first of all, there's a driving percussion rhythm straight away. Now, I will say, like, this is not a critique, but it perhaps makes that drum roll sudden eruption in the regular version of the tune slightly less significant, if only because the original tune, as I'm remembering it, it's mostly ambient and it's just sort of waiting, so when that moment does come, it's such a powerful explosion. Though I think this version made up for that the second time it comes around, because it seems like it's breaking down, maybe it's over, nope, it does the roll again and erupts, and that time it hit me a bit more significantly. But okay, so then we have that trilling keyboard layer in the intro in this version, which I don't think is in the original, even if it's still built off of the melody and ambience of the natural ingredients of the tune. But I also caught that like space guitar riff, which in the original, I'm thinking of the way there's just these like subtle guitar moments as the ambient intro unfolds. Of course, his vocals are just as epic here, and when he really pushes it in the latter stages of the tune, both the original and this one, it's just incredible. He really has a remarkable voice, and even though it's sort of restrained and just bubbling beneath the surface, both in terms of the delivery and the emotion of his vocal performance for most of the tune leading up to that explosion, I think that actually makes it even more significant when he finally just lets it really belt out and the fire comes into it. And then there's like a little deep bass flourish. I noticed it in particular in like the latter third of the tune, but I think it was there before that stands out. And yes, there's that like interlude section, which I don't think is in the original version. So it's like it takes the regular track, it augments it, it makes it a bit more driving and percussive. Not really like dance floor per se, because it has more of a syncopated, like heavy, I don't know if trip hop is the right word, but it has that sort of electronic syncopation feel rather than a four to the floor like driving kick drum. So yes, I like the additions, and I think the augmentation sonically here is respectful of the original tune, but it definitely does something a bit different with it. Again, it's just a great song, and some of the lines in there, like if I saw you, I forget exactly what the phrasing is, but like if you were drowning, I wouldn't lend a hand. It's like, damn. And those lines are like, oh, don't worry, I'll remember. How could I ever forget? It's like he's trying to indicate, you clearly don't know who I am if you don't think that what you've done has affected me very deeply, and this moment is a culmination of everything, all the lies you've told me. Was it nothing more than a pack of lies? So it really hits home emotionally when the song does explode. And again, just the character of that drum flourish that leads into the real ramping up of the tune sonically, which, as I said, it still hits here, even if like it doesn't have the same effect because we've already had a beat structure, whereas again, as I'm remembering the original, it's more down tempo and ambient, and when that beat does come in, it's like it's very striking. But as I said, as Luca just emerges, I didn't even know you were in here. Luca. No, she's stretching. But yes, the second time it rolls back around after the tune really breaks down and dismantles in that interlude. It was just as effective as the normal flare up in the original version. So yeah, I like this. I think it's great. It makes sense to me that it may have caught people's ear again, even if it was less than a decade after the original tune, presumably, was a massive hit to begin with. So yes, as I said, shout out to Joseph, shout out to Michaela. I'm still going to see if I can make this work, and even if I can't, I'll see if I can get the exact compilation somewhere online, so we'll still be able to go through all of these Phil Collins tunes, because I'm very excited, and I was when I received this CD. So once again, shout out to all the folks who've shared physical media with me. When we come back next time to this compilation, there's two left. There's a Madonna tune, Sorry, and it's a Pet Shop Boys mix. Well, damn, I'll be looking forward to that one. And yes, ultimately, shout out once again to, intro by Tom Servo. You know what's funny? I didn't see that when I did the reaction to How Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously, but if you remember, I immediately knew where it came from because I'm a big Mystery Science Theater fan, and in fact, if you didn't know this, my Discogs name now for like 20 years is Mr. Tom Servo, so how perfect and fitting was that? But yes, I'm very much looking forward to hearing a Pet Shop Boys remix of a Madonna track, so do let me know what you think of this, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.